Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is almost the new year. I hope you guys all had an amazing holiday. I figured for the last video of the year, we could do something super fun, super chill, and super reminiscent of 2023. I've compiled a list of my favorite anti-woke campaigns by transphobes. And today we're going to rank them based on, I don't know, stupidity, craziness. So let's get into it. I have my little tier maker up. We have about 8 different campaigns to talk about today. So let's get right into it. The first one, and they are in no particular order. I just happen to have just recently watched the Barbie movie again. The first one is the trans Barbie outrage. If you haven't been living under a transphobic rock, I'm sorry, that was dumb. You would know that Barbie was the biggest movie of the year. Honestly, one of the biggest movies of all time. It starred Margot Robbie, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling. I don't remember which one it was. It was a Ryan. And it was great. You know, at least personally, I thought it was great. All my friends thought it was great. Everybody that I talked to about the movie thought it was great, but not everybody thought it was great. You know, not everybody did, clearly. Conservatives like Ken Shapiro were not happy with Barbie at all because they featured a trans actress in the movie. But now don't get too excited because no, there was not a trans Barbie in the Barbie movie, but one of the actresses that played one of the Barbies was trans. And that was enough to cause this whole crazy, you know, anti-woke campaign. They were burning Barbies, cutting off their heads, launching them into space or something. I don't know, maybe not the last one, but they were pissed. They beheaded all the Barbies they could get their hands on. They were mad for other reasons too. The Barbie movie talked a lot about the patriarchy, a lot about what it's like being a woman in today's society. And if you know anything about the right wing, they're not really about women's rights. I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it today. That's my opinion. And so they just really did not like this Barbie movie at all, which made me like it even more. But moral of the story, they just had a lot to say about this Barbie movie. It got canceled. It was part of a whole anti-woke campaign. And that is why it is the first one on our tier list today. Yes, I have a little picture of Hari Neff here. Just use your imagination and translate these tier letters into like a different degree of an eye roll when you hear about these anti-woke campaigns, okay? So like the bottom tier would be like, oh, that's weird. And the top tier would be like, are you kidding me? Huh? That's why they're mad? Okay, you get it. So for the Barbie movie, let's see. I mean, it was a little crazy. I do, of course, know the rest of the anti-woke campaigns that we're gonna be talking about today. You can kind of see them on the bottom there. So I don't think that this was the craziest one. I don't think this was the most ridiculous by any means, but it was definitely a little ridiculous. Burning Barbies is just, I can't get behind it. They're so cute. So I'm gonna put it right here because it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the craziest. You know, she was an actual trans actress. So I mean, there's some legitimacy to being upset if you really just hate trans people that much. So we'll put it here. But even if these things get a D, they're still ridiculous, okay? The least ridiculous ones are still some of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard in my entire life. Okay, let's move on to the next one though. Okay, so the next anti-woke campaign that I want to talk about is just Pride Month as a whole, okay? We saw tweets from people like Matt Walsh saying that they wanted to make Pride Month as toxic as possible so that corporations and honestly everybody during the month of June would be afraid to show their support to the LGBTQ community. This anti-woke campaign wasn't going after a specific actress in a movie or a specific toy or anything like that. It was literally just Pride as a whole. Now, as vague as this one is, you know, it is the whole Pride Month. They didn't say anything specific about Pride Month. So in that sense, it is a little bit more vague, but I think that that's honestly worse. You know, just attacking Pride as a whole, just attacking people being proud of their identity, proud of themselves, proud of their just anything as a whole is just really fucking weird. Like, how dare you be proud of yourself? How dare you be happy with your life? How dare these corporations signal to the public that it's okay to be gay or it's okay to be trans? How dare they? So for that reason, this one goes right up on AS. Canceling Pride Month, as big of a fail as it was, is a crazy thing to try to do. But the irony is, babe, Pride started as a protest, right? Pride started as a pushback to people telling us that we shouldn't be proud of ourselves, that we shouldn't be okay with our identities, that we shouldn't be okay with who we are. So personally, it seems a little bit dumb to me that these people really think that we're just gonna back down, back off, and just kind of let them win when it comes to framing all of Pride Month as toxic. Like, you really think we're gonna let that go? Fortunately, this anti-woke campaign, like the rest of the anti-woke campaigns, were largely a fail. GLAAD has actually come out with reports that show that these businesses that show support for the LGBTQ community and stand by that support for the LGBTQ community actually end up better in the long run. Their businesses thrive in the long run, even if they see that temporary pushback from the right wing. And companies are starting to realize that. They're starting to realize that this loud minority of people who are against the trans community, against the LGBTQ community, and against Pride Month are just that. A small minority, a small but very loud minority. Their positions are extreme and do not represent that of the greater public. That actually is a perfect little segue into the next anti-woke campaign that we're going to be talking about today, which is the Target one. If you don't know what this one is all about, back in Pride Month, Target released a bunch of different, items, products that were marketed towards the LGBTQ community and more specifically trans people. So they had products like, I think they had a binder, maybe they didn't, I don't know. But they definitely had a swimsuit that was marketed more towards trans girls and it advertised like having more crotch coverage for people who wanted to tuck. This, in my opinion, was one of the largest anti-woke campaigns of the year. It resulted in Target actually taking some of these products off the shelves, hiding these pride displays in the back of the stores. Like, unfortunately, this is one of those anti-woke campaigns that we saw a little bit of movement away from support of the LGBTQ community. And it sucked, you know what I mean? Because Target for so long has been this great ally to the community and has always had great pride displays and great pride merchandise for, Pride Month. So to see them back off of their support because of these anti-woke campaigns was really frustrating. And the people that were running these anti-woke campaigns took this as a massive victory. They thought that, oh, well, Target is finally taking these things down. We're winning. We're actually making progress. This is awful. Awful, I'm saying. Awful. Target, do better. And it really sucks because, as somebody that is, in this conversation all the time, I do feel like Target was genuinely a good ally to the community for so long. So on one hand, it's like, do better. But on the other hand, it's like, okay, like I understand you're actually getting real life threats to your employees. Like I understand you want to keep them safe. I understand that the right wing is literally batshit crazy. But at the same time, it's like, get more security, babe. I don't know what to tell you. You can't just like turn back on your support of the LGBT community. So this one for me was not good. You know what I mean? It was bad. I didn't like this one. That being said, I'm not really sure where to put it though. Like, I'm not really sure where to put it. Since we're ranking them based off of ridiculousness, I'm starting to realize that there may be a flaw with my ranking system going off of something as subjective as like silliness, especially when it comes to this one, because I really don't know where to put it now because yes, it was silly of them to be upset. I guess I'll put this one down here because I really was not a fan of the way that Target handled this campaign that was targeted against them. Maybe I should rank them based on the responses. You know what I mean? Like with Pride Month, they couldn't cancel Pride Month, babe. They tried, they failed horrendously. A+ for us. I guess I'm just gonna rank these based on whether or not I like them or not because I don't know how else to rank them. Like I don't know what other criteria to go off of. So this one's going in D. Target's going in D because this one made me upset. I did not like how Target reacted to this. I did not like how they responded to this and how they dealt with the situation. Whereas with Pride Month in the Barbie movie, I feel like they were like, girl, get a grip. Which honestly, I feel like that's how you have to handle these things. You know what I mean? That's how you have to handle these anti-woke campaigns that are coming from these, like I said, very loud but small groups of people. The next anti-woke campaign that we have is the gay M&Ms. And I know what you're thinking. Wasn't the gay M&M a couple years ago? Or the not sexy M&M? Wasn't that a while ago? And yes, that one was a while ago. But there was actually another anti-M&Ms, anti-woke campaign this year. And I made a video on it and it was because they had this frame of two girl M&Ms like together. So they were like, oh, the M&Ms are lesbian now. Bitch, I hope they are. What about it? Which that's funny enough, but there also was other ones where like they had like a Women's Month packaging or something like that. And like, it was like highlighting women's empowerment or something like that. And people were so mad because it was like, why aren't they highlighting men? This is reverse sexism or male sex, whatever they called it. And this one I have to put at the top because I freaking love Mars. They continue to troll these people so hard. It's so great. They love it. I can just picture the people at Mars, like their little studio. They're like figuring out how to market this stuff. They're like, let's just fuck with the transphobes again. Let's just fuck with the anti-woke community once again because they give us such great publicity. They talk about us all the time. They get us millions of views on our freaking M&M packaging. If I was Tucker Carlson or the Daily Wire, I would really be like, I'd get my lawyers to get me a check from Mars for all the publication that I've done for them. You know what I mean? Okay, and now, of course, the most infamous anti-woke campaign of the year, the Bud Light one. And I know that we're probably sick of hearing about this one. I know we're so tired of it. I know I am. If you don't know what this was, basically Bud Light, the beer company, Anheuser-Busch or whatever, whoever owns it, sent Dylan Mulvaney, who is a trans influencer, they sent her a can of Bud Light with her face on it for her 1-year mark of transitioning. And the right wing lost it. They lost it. They could not handle it. They thought that Bud Light had gone woke. Bud Light supports transies now. Bud Light, it wants to groom all the children. It was really bad. And this whole situation was, I mean, there was good and bad to it, okay? The good was that it exposed how ridiculous these anti-woke campaigns really are. You know what I mean? They sent Dylan Mulvaney 1 can of Bud Light with her face on it, and like, these people could not handle it. Like I said, they were destroying millions of dollars worth of merchandise. They boycotted this brand for months because they sent this girl 1 can of Bud Light. So that was the good, you know, it exposed how crazy that was. But the bad part was that Anheuser-Busch, the company that owns Bud Light, came out and apologized for supporting Dylan Mulvaney. They apologized for supporting trans people. Huh? No, babe, you don't apologize for that. Oh my God. This was like the craziest shit I've ever heard. I also heard that the people at Bud Light, after they sent Dylan this thing and like completed their sponsorship or whatever, I heard they never reached out to her again. You know, in the midst of all of this backlash, in the midst of all of these people canceling them, canceling Dylan, all the hate that Dylan received, they didn't reach out to her at all just to say, like, we support you, we're behind you on this. Clearly they weren't, but that's the least you could do. It's just send a fucking email, and they didn't even do that. So bottom of the list. Bottom of the list, Bud Light. Maybe I should rank them based on the response from the brand. I think I should. Okay, we have to move some things around really quick. Obviously, for Pride Month, there's no brand. So we're gonna put it at the level B. For the Barbie movie, I feel like they didn't respond to it, which is like gold. They said, you guys are fucking weird. Anyways, Barbie time. I love that. Kill them with kindness or whatever they say. Ignore them. So that's great. I'll keep that there. Okay, so this is our new ranking. We have M&M's and the trans Barbie at the top. We have the cancellation of Pride Month, or the attempted cancellation of Pride Month, right at level B. And then for the worst anti-woke campaigns, at least the worst corporate responses to these anti-woke campaigns, came from Anheuser-Busch and Target. Do better, girls. Okay, so the next one we have is the rainbow flag. And this one is not to be confused with Pride Month, Pride at all. This one is literally the physical rainbow flag. Because yes, these anti-woke extremists, these transphobes, they tried to cancel a piece of fabric, girl. Are we surprised? No. This one I actually talked about in my video with Anna Marie Forcino, and it was like a video reacting to Here's Morgan going off about Pride Month and how come we don't have a straight Pride Month, and how come all throughout June, everywhere I go, there's rainbow flags everywhere, like take down these rainbow flags and they're so crazy, blah, 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 blah.
Where's my straight flag?
Why am I constantly getting straight?
Where is my straight flag?
If you haven't seen that video, it's really funny. I love Anna Marie, so definitely go check that video out. For this one, we didn't really get a response from the rainbow flag manufacturers, the brand of rainbow flag, so I can't rank it based on the corporate response to this thing, but I think I'm just gonna rank it up an A. I'm gonna give it an A because honestly, it was hilarious. It was just so funny to watch Piss Morgan just cry about a rainbow flag. Like, you're that mad. Kim, people are dying. So yeah, the rainbow flag, its response was just waving right in Pierce's face, all happy and cute and gay, and that's enough response for me. I'll take it. A for you, girl. The next one that we have, I'm actually gonna skip this one and come back to it if you can see where I'm pointing my little mouse, but we're gonna do this one. The Starfield pronoun fiasco, I'll call it, okay? So Starfield was the video game that came out earlier this year. And this guy, if you don't recognize his face, was the guy that went on a rampage, a literal rampage, had the world's biggest hissy fit on camera. When you're creating your character for this video game, it asks you what pronouns you would like your character to have. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't even ask you what pronouns you would like. You have to pick between he, him, she, her, and they, theirs, or they, them. You have to scroll through and pick one. And that's why he made a whole 4-minute video screaming at the top of his lungs about how woke video games have gotten, how this is ruining video games, and how he just wants to be, you know, submerged in his trans-free environments. Boring, yawning, you're fucking weird, get a life. I'm sorry. This one was just crazy, right? I did do a video on this one as well, and I couldn't resist. It was so good. It was so mad.
Fucking pronouns!
Sorry, I'm gonna, yeah. The developers of Starfield did not respond to this, obviously, but his video was a response to itself, okay? There was no response needed. They could have just retweeted the video and said nothing at all. A quick little retweet put him right in his place.
Fucking pronouns!
Okay, so I'm realizing my ranking system is kind of off, but I loved it. It was so funny. It gave me a good giggle, so he's going up in S. S for you, sir. S for you, pronoun. That didn't make sense. Anyways, next one. Okay, guys, so the final anti-woke campaign that we have to talk about today is one that I actually have not talked about here on my channel. It is the gender-neutral toy section one, okay? And basically, I don't know how true it is, what the details of it includes, but California released a law or a bill, or there's a bill going through legislation or something like that, to make it a requirement for toy stores to have a gender-neutral toy section. So I didn't make a video on this one, honestly, because it's so silly. It's so silly. Honestly, I really don't think that the trans community cares this much about a gender neutral toy section. What we really do care about is buying your kid the toy that they like. If you have a son and they want a traditionally girl toy, buy them the toy that they want. That's literally all the trans community is trying to say, is just don't limit what your kid can play with because of their gender. At least that's what my opinion on it is. I wouldn't be against having a gender neutral toy section. I don't think that there's any problem with it. I don't think it's necessary to legally require them to be in stores, but the outrage that followed it was just crazy. You know, these extremist transphobes will find any reason to just hate on the community, to just call us crazy, to call us delusional, to call us whatever names that they want to call us. And this to me was just another way for them to do that. It's another way for them to make the trans community just look crazy, right? Honestly, I don't think we asked for this. I don't think anybody really cares about this. It's the same thing as when these extremists lie about trans people thinking that they were born female, thinking that they were born the other sex or whatever. And it's like, no, we're not silly. We're not stupid. We're not that crazy. We just don't want kids to have to suffer like we suffered. So this one I'm gonna put in C. Firstly, because we don't have any others in C and I want one in C. But because, I mean, it's not great, you know? I put this one down here because personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think that it kind of makes trans people look a little bit more sensitive than we are, a little bit more needy than we really are. So yeah, it's going there. But yeah, that was the last one. I want to take a look at our final product. Here it is. At the top, we have the gay M&Ms, we have the trans Barbie, and we have Starfield's pronouns. The top three, everyone. The top three anti-woke campaigns of the year. Give them a round of applause. Yay, top three, top three. We love M&Ms. The second one, on the A tier, the next tier down, we have the rainbow flag. Still flying high, girl. Can't tear her down. I mean, you can. July 1st, it comes right on down, but it's fine. She's still there in our hearts. On the B tier, we have Pride Month, the cancellation of Pride Month as a whole, the framing of Pride Month as toxic, if you will. Girl, try as you may, you will never succeed, okay? You can't cancel Pride, and honestly, it's kind of a self-report. You're exposing yourself by trying to cancel something as pure as pride. Like, the pride. At the C tier, we have the gender neutral toy section. And then at the bottom tier, the worst anti-woke campaigns of the entire year, the most ridiculous anti-woke campaigns of the entire year. We have the Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, Dylan Mulvaney controversy, where they sent a single can of Bud Light and the whole world lit on fire. And we also have the Target trans swimsuits. Yes. This one's a little bit weird to me because what do the conservatives want? Do they want trans girls to not tuck? Do they want to see our... Never mind. We don't have to get into it. What do you guys think? Does this look accurate? What would you change? What would you move? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, you guys, that is it for this video. That is the last video of this year. I want to say a giant thank you to everyone that has supported me this year, everyone that is still here after another long transphobic year. I love you guys. I love what I do here and I don't plan on stopping. So thank you guys for staying here with me. If you like this video, please make sure to go watch another one. I make videos every single week here on my channel. And yeah, other than that, go have a happy New Year's. Love you all. Bye, everyone.